This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. I want to talk to you today about something real, something that hits way too close to home for a lot of us. I want to say it in a way that sticks with you, maybe even bothers you a little, but in the best way. Because sometimes the truth has to sting before it can set you free. Here it is. If they can fire you with just an email, you are being rented. Let that sink in for a second. Think about what that really means. You spend years of your life grinding, showing up on time, giving energy, creativity, loyalty to a company, and one day, without warning, they can strip it all away with a sentence in your inbox. No phone call, no face-to-face, just a cold, sterile line of text that says, "Your services are no longer required." And just like that, your entire life flips upside down. What does that really tell you? It tells you that you don't own your position, you don't own your security, you don't own your peace of mind. You are being rented like a car someone drives until they're done with it. That's a brutal way to put it, but it's real. And I've been there. I've had those mornings where you wake up to an email that doesn't just ruin your day, it cracks your entire identity. Because in the world we live in, too many of us tie who we are to the job we have. When the job is gone, it feels like we're gone too. That's the problem with being rented. You forget you're not the owner. You start believing you're safe until one decision from someone who doesn't even know your kids' names, someone who doesn't see your bills, someone who doesn't care about your dreams, pulls the rug out from under you. And the thing is, this isn't just about work. It's about life, purpose, and control. Because if they can take everything from you with one click, then maybe you've given too much of your power away. I don't say this to scare you. I say this to wake you up. Because most of us live our lives waiting on permission. Permission to be secure, permission to rest, permission to feel worthy. And the people who hold that permission slip are often the same ones who can fire us with an email. Isn't that wild? We give them all the power and then we're shocked when they use it. But here's the good news. Just because they rent your labor, they don't own your future. Just because they can take away a paycheck doesn't mean they can take away your purpose. And the moment you realize that, everything changes. I had to learn this the hard way. For a long time, I thought climbing the ladder was the answer. If I just worked harder, stayed later, impressed the right people, then maybe I'd be untouchable. But here's the truth nobody told me. There is no ladder. There's just scaffolding they can pull down whenever they want. So I had to change the way I thought about work, about life, about myself. I had to stop asking, how can I be more valuable to them? And start asking, how can I be more valuable to myself? That's the question I want to leave with you today. Because if you don't shift your perspective, you'll keep living like you're rented, temporary, disposable, replaceable. But you're not disposable. You are not a number. You are not a line item. You are a whole person with gifts, talents, and a calling that no email can erase. I know right now some of you are struggling. Maybe you just lost a job. Maybe you're on the edge of losing one. Maybe you feel like you're giving everything and getting nothing back. And it's crushing you. I hear you. I've been there. But this moment, as painful as it feels, is also an invitation. An invitation to remember who you are outside of a paycheck. An invitation to start building something that no boss, no company, no HR department can take away with an email. Because here's the truth. Jobs come and go, but skills remain. Paychecks stop, but purpose doesn't. Titles change, but identity shouldn't. If all of who you are is wrapped up in what someone else gives you, then you'll always be at risk of being rented. But when you start developing what no one can take, your mindset, your discipline, your creativity, your resilience, you move from being rented to being rooted. I'll never forget the day I realized this. I was staring at an email that basically ended a season of my life. And at first, I was crushed. I felt like all those years, all those hours, all those sacrifices were wasted. But then I realized They didn't fire me from my skills. They didn't fire me from my character. They didn't fire me from my faith. They didn't fire me from my ability to wake up tomorrow and start again. That's when I understood being fired isn't the end, it's the shift. And some of you need that shift right now, because you've been giving all your energy to building someone else's dream while ignoring your own. You've been investing all your creativity in someone else's plan while starving your own vision. Maybe this is your reminder that if they can fire you with just an email, then maybe it's time to stop building only for them and start building for you. I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. I'm saying shift your mindset today. Stop waiting for security from people who can't give it to you. Start creating security by becoming the kind of person who can't be erased by one email. That might mean starting a side hustle, learning a new skill, building passive income, creating content, writing, teaching, mentoring. It could mean finally pursuing that thing you've been putting off because you've been too busy giving your best energy to someone else's vision. I know it's scary. I know it feels overwhelming, but here's what's scarier. Waking up one day and realizing you spent decades renting your life away to people who never really valued it. And let's be real, some companies will never value you the way you deserve. And that's okay, because your value was never supposed to come from them anyway. Your value is God-given. Your worth is inborn. And when you start living like that, you start walking differently. You stop begging for a seat at their table and start building your own. Somebody out there needs to hear this. You are not just a worker. You are not just an employee ID. You are a builder, a creator, a leader, a child of God with a calling that no termination email can delete. So here's what I want you to remember. Yes, they can fire you with an email. Yes, they can end your job, but they cannot end you. They cannot end your purpose. They cannot end your ability to adapt, to grow, to rise again. That's yours. That's what makes you unstoppable. And here's the thing about being rented. When you finally realize it, it hurts at first, but then it frees you. Because you stop pretending that the job is permanent and you start building something that is. You stop giving all your loyalty to a system that doesn't give it back, and you start investing that loyalty into yourself, into your family, into your future. That shift is life-changing. You want to know why so many people feel empty at work? It's not just the tasks, not just the hours. It's the realization deep down that they're giving their soul to something temporary. And humans were never designed to feel temporary. We were designed for roots, for meaning, for permanence. That's why your heart aches when you feel replaceable, because something inside you knows you're meant to be more. If they can fire you with just an email, you are being rented. And when you're being rented, it means someone else is profiting off your time more than you are. It means someone else owns the terms. It means someone else gets to decide when you start and when you're done. That's not ownership, that's dependency. And dependency is dangerous when the people you depend on don't really care about you. So how do we flip it? How do we move from being rented to being rooted? It starts with this simple but hard truth. You have to start creating something that belongs to you, something that no HR email can erase. Maybe it's a business, maybe it's a skill set, maybe it's a craft, but whatever it is, it's yours. And when it's yours, you can't be evicted from it. I think a lot about our parents and grandparents. Many of them worked jobs for 30, 40 years with loyalty and consistency. And back then, maybe it made sense. Companies felt more stable, pensions existed, loyalty was rewarded. But in today's world, loyalty is a one-way street. You give it, but you don't get it back. That means you can't play by the old rules anymore. You can't bet your whole life on a system that can cut you loose in seconds. And let's be honest, some of us are scared to admit this truth because admitting it means we can't hide behind excuses anymore. If you know the system doesn't protect you, then you have to protect yourself. If you know the job isn't forever, then you have to build something that is. And building is hard. Building takes time. But building is the only way to stop being rented. I remember sitting in my car once after getting that dreaded email, and I thought to myself, they don't even know who I really am. They don't know the late nights I stayed up, the weekends I sacrificed, the birthdays I missed. To them, I'm just a name on payroll. To me, this was my life, but they cut it off like it was nothing. And as much as that hurt, it also lit something inside me. It made me realize I never wanted to feel that powerless again. So I started small. I started working on things outside the job. I started reading, learning, creating. I didn't know exactly where it would lead, but I knew this. I couldn't let an email decide my worth ever again. And that's the mindset shift I want for you. Because here's the reality. No matter how good you are, no matter how much they like you, if you are rented, you are temporary. And temporary things can be cut off without warning. But when you own your path, when you invest in yourself, when you cultivate gifts and skills that no one else controls, you become permanent, you become rooted. So let's get practical for a second. What does it look like to stop being rented? It means learning skills that outlast jobs, building multiple streams of income so one email doesn't wreck your whole life, finding ways to serve people directly so you're not always depending on a boss to validate you. Keeping your identity rooted in who God made you to be, not in a title that can disappear. Because titles come and go. Manager, director, assistant. They're just words on a business card. What matters is what's in you, not what's printed on paper. And I want to speak directly to someone right now. You've been scared to start that project, scared to take that class, scared to put yourself out there because you've been telling yourself the job is enough. But deep down, you know it's not. Deep down, you know you've been playing it safe, and safe feels good until it doesn't. Safe feels comfortable until the rug is pulled out from under you. Then you realize safe wasn't really safe at all. And that's the thing. Being rented feels safe until it doesn't, until the email shows up, until the layoff happens, until the pink slip comes. That's when you realize safety was an illusion. The only real safety is in becoming the kind of person who can't be erased with one email. So let me ask you this. What are you building that no one can take away from you? What are you creating that lives outside of payroll? What are you cultivating that will still matter if tomorrow your job disappears?